Okay, please let me know whether I'm visible and audible clearly. You may not be able to unmute yourself, but you can let me know in the chat. Visible and the slides visible and my audio clear? Great, thank you so much. So it was an intentional delay, not on my part, just wanted more and more people to join in because it suddenly came to my mind. I am actually having a workshop these days on balance sheet, and so I gave my balance sheet participants a gift of joining in. So I thought maybe let's throw the bait in the court of my free group members as well. Let's see how many are active and how many see the messages, because seen in the past few days that people asking questions again and again on gold, whereas in previous 1.5 months or so I've given at least 3 short videos, answered so many queries, shared so many other queries from the group, and also shared info about the SGB initially, and then the tranche 1, and then day before yesterday tranche 2, which was started on Monday 24th of May. So I was amazed to find still so many queries. The only probable reason I could make out that yes, people are not checking the groups regularly. So never mind. This is actually our mini paid group session only. So let's begin. So all my presentations will always begin with thanking the Lord Almighty, who's given me much more than what I deserve. And when it comes to finance, I have to thank my dad as well, who has been instrumental in teaching me the clinical part of finance. And without the clinical part of finance, we are all almost zero in managing our clinical finance. So thank you, Dad. Miss you always. It was a rainy Sunday afternoon on 30th June 2019. I was lecturing in Vapi, Gujarat on that day. And as I finished my lecture, I got to know that my dad had passed away in his sleep at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So it was a difficult day. Vapi that day had 184 mm of rain. In Punjab, sometimes we don't have even that much amount of rain in the whole season. But destiny, I missed my flight as well, but luckily everything fell in place and I was just right in time to be with my father for his last rites. Being the elder son, it was my duty as well. So this is my brief biodata. You all are aware of it by now. It is the courtesy my MBA finance and yes, guidance from my dad, 24/7, 365. Ever since I started having interest in it, that I am being able to share with my colleagues whatever I am doing today. So today's topic is the hot topic. Till 2 weeks back, the government had no clue. The last tranche was there in the month of Feb, I guess, for the last financial year. So everybody was asking, SGB kab aayega? Because in the last financial year, the tranches which were launched were as high as 5290, 5390, 4290. Different costs, different of gold, obviously much higher than what they are being offered right now. So when the first tranche was there, I vehemently told colleagues to buy it. Many of them bought it. They sent me personal messages also that bought it. And look at that. In 2 days, 3 days time, the second tranche was launched and it was expensive by 650 rupees per tola, per 10 grams, or 65 rupees per gram. It was expensive. Although it might not make a huge difference in overall return, but yes, gold touched insane heights in August, September 2020, when it almost touched 59 to 60,000. Mercurial growth from 42,000 just about 8 months back, and soaring almost 33% to or 30% to 60,000. So it became a lucrative investment. I remember when the unlock was happening, probably in the month of May or June, I went to a dealer to buy my shelf racks to him, and he said that people are saying that the gold is going to be 53, 54 again. At that time, it had come down to around 50. So I said, "Khareed lo jo khareedna hai, bahut mehenga jayega." And it actually happened the reverse. The gold actually fell down. It almost touched 43, 44, and now it is again stabilizing and going back. So it has been traditionally a very wonderful investment, excellent hedge. Hedge means where you balance out the things. I'll explain as we go on. So in the next 75 to 85 minutes, almost, I'll be covering this topic. So if you have any queries, as I said, keep posting them in your chat messages. I'll be answering them all at the end. So this is MPG webinar number 21, the ones which I take in my mini paid group. We had one very interesting one in today morning as well on gross profit margin. That will be there on YouTube by mid-June. So we'll be discussing gold as an investment in India, the most common mistakes people make while buying gold, usually the physical one, and the do's and the don'ts when buying gold, and the things to look out for. I'll touch all these topics in brief, because otherwise, if I'm about to discuss gold, the amount of presentation I have is close to 6 to 7 hours. Obviously, we are not going to spend that much amount of time. So I'll try to touch each of those topics. It was very difficult for me to choose and pick the slides which I have to add into today's presentation, but still I chose the ones which were the most essential ones. So gold investment options in India, how to invest, how to look out for the benefits, how to look at those things which are actually beneficial for us. So we all know that there are so many precious metals, but gold is one of the best in terms of respect, in terms of regard. Again, it is one of the most preferred investments, because Indian culture, Indian society, Indian customs, Indian traditions all warrant gold at the time of kids' marriages. The gold is exchanged in abundance in majority of places. Again, COVID times discounted. Marriages are happening in a short gatherings, but even then, the gold still continues to exchange hands in the time of such functions, and not only at marriages, but many other functions as well. So the advantages, the biggest advantages are its high liquidity. You can have that gold and sell it anywhere, anytime. Usually the physical gold I'm talking. And the biggest strong point is that inflation beating capacity. You will actually be surprised that the equity market or the share market and the gold share an inverse relationship. Obviously, it is dependent on oil prices as well. But as the equity market goes down, the gold goes up. The only time they were actually going in sync were just a couple of months back, when the market was also going down. And yes, the market touched its highest on 3rd of March, 52, 53K, almost 53K. But after that, the gold also fell and the market also fell. And the market is correcting itself every now and then, still in the range of 50 now. So when the markets are facing turbulence, gold actually grows up. So in the past 40 years, if you look at the record, 32 times gold has given profit. So gold has been a symbol of wealth for us as well. So if you just look at the statistics, in the physical gold form, around 190,000 tons of gold are available globally, out of which 50% is in the form of jewelry. And of course, the foreigners might not be, but we Indians are really, really fond of. Ask any Indian woman who is not fond of the gold jewelry. Everyone is. Very, very rarely you will encounter a woman who doesn't wear even a single gold thing on her body. So an additional 17 and 13% of gold reserves by central banks all around the world. And obviously, they are used for industrial purposes and exchange purposes only, to weigh against their printing of the currency sometimes, although those systems have now changed. So the second most popular use are the investments. Around 20% of the world's physical gold are investments in the form of gold coins, gold bars. Yes, now the digital format, gold ETFs, gold trade funds, or gold mutual funds, or also known as funds of funds, or digital gold as well. So we'll discuss the key gold investments which are available in India. I'll compare them based on the key criteria. As I said, the list can be endless. The topic can go on for 6 hours, but yes, somewhere we have to draw the line, and I will try to actually draw the line. So I'll compare them based on availability, risk, return, cost, and liquidity, the major 5 factors which we have to do. And I'll give you a tabulated one, which will make you which will help you make an informed choice regarding the amount of or the kind of gold you want to buy or you want to invest, trying to give the advantages and disadvantages of each and every one of them. So why gold is relevant? The biggest thing is that it is one of the primary reasons for hedging. It actually provides a diversification to your portfolio. If we talk of the normal times, okay, yes, in today's times, in COVID times, all the investments have come down. The FD rates are close to 5%. The bank saving interests are close to 2.5, 2.75%. Even the private banks, which like IDFC, which used to give 7%, are also down to 5%. Only a couple of banks like AU, Small Finance Bank, and RBL Bank are still hovering around 6.5 and 6.75% in saving bank account. But even they will be down pretty much shortly. So because the overall economy has shrunk in size, yes, there will be a rebound surely and quickly. That is for sure. But what makes gold attractive is that if we talk of the normal times, investments growing at 5, 6, 7%. And on the other hand, the equity market, yes, comes with a slight amount of risk, growing at 12, 13, 14%. So there would be some investors who won't be wanting to take the risk. So they will play it safe. They'll keep it in the 6, 7% bracket so that the money is not doomed, because they fear the stock market, even if it is a mutual fund. Yes, they carry inherent risks, but most of the times the branded or the say blue chip funds, they usually give you good returns. So the equity market is giving you in the range of 13 to 15. So if somebody has invested a majority portion, let's say 70 in the safe investments of 6 to 7% and 30% in the risky investments, again, depending upon the age. That is the formula we use: 100 minus your age in equity, or 80 minus age in equity in the Indian conditions. So if you're 50 years of age, you will invest 30% in equity. So if your majority funds, 2/3 is in the lesser investment, how will you balance it out? The biggest hedge means which balance it out, both the extremes, is the gold. It can give you insane returns. I told you in the past 1 year, till from January to September, it actually gave you insane return. Remember, the equity market, the stock market fell from 47, 48,000 in March 2020 to almost 24,000. Almost 50% drop was there last year when the COVID-1 wave struck in India and the lockdown was inserted. And when the market started reviving, yes, it almost revived to its best by 15th of December 2020. In less than 9 months, in less than 8 months, the gold still touched in August, September, almost 60K. So the inverse relationship is there. So yes, and it is again not a very volatile equity. And as we say, mutual fund ki returns dekhte na, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. If you look just at the 5-year returns of the gold, they are massive. Yes, overall in totality, if I give you the data, this is the historical annual returns of gold. But just look at the numbers from 2015 onwards. 10, probably close to 4, then again 6, then 12, and see in 2020, 45%. Imagine the amount of it. The similar kind of return was there in 2010 when the stock markets had crashed once again. Yes, there was say global recession in 2007-8 in Europe. In India, it stuck around 2011 and 12. But see the amount of data. Out of 40 years of its history, the 32 times it is positive. So 80%, 80-20 principle of Pareto principle works here as well. So there is no reason. If you look at the mutual fund also for 5-year returns, look at the gold also for 5-year returns. Go back, leave that 2012 to 14 period of recession. Just look at the period from 2004 to 2011. Not less than, except for 2003, not less than 15% in any year, even going up to 42, 43% in 2010. So the gold is one investment that should always be part of your portfolio. It can vary in percentage, how much you want to keep it. I suggest minimum 10% of your total investments should be in gold. That is the bottom line. So on an average, if you look at the past 40 years, the returns are 9.6%. And we are talking of the economy where times when the economy was not growing fast as well. So 32 times positive, 8 times negative. So it is a hedge because it has comparatively lower volatility than equity investments over the long term. And as I said, it has an inverse relationship as well. Let's look at those charts as well. See, the Indian currency crisis, the devaluation happened in 1991. Mr. Manmohan Singh did it. When we say 1 rupaya 9 paise ke barabar ho gaya tha. I think many of you might be very young at that time. I still remember those times. I was close to 14 years old, 15 years old at that time in 1991. So I remember there was a joke by a Punjabi comedian, late Shri Jaspal Bhatti. He used to make satirical comedies on such. So 1 rupee was equal to 9 paisa after devaluation in those languages. Then the dot-com bubble, 99, 2000, 2001. Even at that time, the gold grew. Then the global financial crisis, 2007-8, continued up to 10 in Europe, especially the gold touched highs. And in the coronavirus pandemic, we saw it. It touched 45% up to growth as well. So this is the growth. It actually grows inversely. And sometimes when the market is growing, it grows actually the reverse way. There are very common less time. So the three advantages, the most famous advantages in any investment an investor would look out is safe कितना है, liquid कितना है, और return कितनी है. If I look at the three practical aspects, मेरा पैसा डूबेगा तो नहीं, मेरे को जब चाहिए वापस मिलेंगे कि नहीं, एंड मेरे को रिटर्न कितनी मिलेगी अगर मैं लॉक इन रखता हूं. So these are the three things. Gold actually meets the first two criteria handsomely, without any hiccup. And even the third one, return wise, I told you, if you just look at the past 5-year returns, even those are massive. So there is no reason why you should not invest in gold. So again, two reasons. It is an inflation beating investment. What I was telling you about the hedge, the slide actually mixed up those things. If somebody is investing 70% in that 6-7% range and 30% in that 12 to 13% range, his average would come out to be less than 10, because the 2/3 investment is in that. So what will you use to balance out that so that you beat the inflation? Gold. Gold will actually make sure that whatever you are actually having in your investments as a growth will give you a return of above 10%. Whatever the government figures might say, inflation is at 3%, 4%, 6%. Average cost of living, again, COVID times discounted, average cost of living increases by 10% every year. If in the last May, you spend 50,000 on your routine cost of living, again, talking normal times, not COVID times, you spend 50,000 on your cost of living or your bills and all other things in your house, in a clinic combined maybe, or even in your house just as a cost of living. Today, you will be spending 55,000 for that, roughly an increase of 10%. Everything is inflationary in that regard. So gold actually is the one which is in line with the rate of inflation, and it actually balances out your investment. So obviously, as I said, it has an inverse relation with the equity market as well. So it is a kind of a buffer as well, so that whatever you lose in the equity market, sometimes if the gold grows, it actually gives you a good amount of cushion or a shock against those losses. So how to invest in gold? That will be the question. There is no point to discuss that why we should not. This session is all about doing an investment in gold. So how to invest? So there are multiple formats. Physical gold, we all know, coins, bullions, artifacts, jewelry. Usually in India, we are fond of buying jewelries. We want to stock a jewelry the moment the child is born in the family, especially if it is a girl child. Again, no bias, no gender bias here. Especially if it is a girl child, the first thing parents do is to start collecting the amount of gold they will spend or they will use at the time of her marriage, which is minimum in today's time, 25 years away, minimum. So what exactly does motivate them? The thing is, after 25 years, the designs you have bought may be obsolete, and your kid might say, Mom, Dad, I don't like this design. Remember, you have spent the money to, or given the making charges to your jeweler to make those jewelries. And then after 25 years, you break those, you give the breakage charges and give a new making charges for another. So that is the reason the digital gold actually acquires more importance. It actually does away with all kind of those making charges, those GSTs, those other things, other taxes involved. It is a pure, simple investment. Yes, whenever you want, you can liquidate it. You can lock it as for a lock-in period for a certain time. As I mentioned, I'll be mentioning in coming slides. And whenever your daughter or son is due for marriage and you want to splurge on or collect that money, break that digital gold, get a cash back, and buy or let the child buy the jewelry of her or his choice on his marriage. What is the problem in that? What is the fun of that jewelry which is lying and biting dust in your locker or in your home, and you are continuously living under the fear that kahin chori na ho jaye ya kuch aur na ho jaye? All these things are there. So why not a digital golden option? सब कुछ हमको डिजिटल चाहिए, लेकिन ज्वेलरी हमको मैनुअल चाहिए. Similarly, I go for record keeping as well in clinic. सारा कुछ हम लोग डिजिटल करेंगे, लेटेस्ट गैजेट्स करेंगे, एक्सरे भी डिजिटल करेंगे, लेकिन when it comes to record keeping, sir register D में कर लो entry, कर लो भाई, आपकी मर्जी. Who tells you not to do it? So if you are updating yourself in many regards, why not in this regard as well? So the newer forms of investment, SGBs, sovereign gold bonds, you might be aware by now, the gold ETFs, exchange traded funds, and the gold mutual funds separately, which are also known as funds of funds. Funds of funds एक term होती है कि mutual fund company किसी दूसरे के mutual fund में पैसे लगाती है. You might find it strange, but this is known as the fund of funds funda. In one line, in simple language. So how to invest? Doing jewelry buying, gold coins, gold bars, gold ETF, gold funds of funds, SGB is missing over here. So all those things are an option. Gold coins, gold bars are a good option. Comparatively lesser, much lesser charges than your jewelry. No making as well as such comparatively. But yes, they will still require some cost. But then because of the bars carry some weight, so the minimum transaction would be a very higher amount. I'll discuss those things. So you can opt for a physical form or a digital form. Physical format can be jewelry, coins, bars, bullion, whatever. So what are the limitations? The making and the designing charges, which make your purchase expensive. Again, the storage expenses because of security and insurance thing. And selling is inconvenient. Sometimes there might be possible impurities. And sometimes there might not be, we bought it from a local jeweler. Might be giving a hallmark jewelry sometimes. We didn't check out for the proper stamping. It might be impure, might not be carrying a proper purity certificate. What are the things we have to look out for? I'll give you at the end of the presentation here. So to overcome the limitations of this gold, you can opt for digital route. I mentioned the options, SGBs, ETFs, gold mutual funds. So the digital gold can be bought. Digital gold is offered by only 3 or 4 firms in India. So like the Paytm Gold, Augment Gold, MMTC, PAMP. So yes, they all come with their all inherent risk. I'll be discussing those in a tabular form. So then gold trade, gold ETFs, they are a low cost mutual fund comparative to other mutual funds, come with a lower expense ratio. But yes, they still invest in the share market, in the mining firms usually, or the stocks of the gold firms only. But then for gold ETFs, you need a demat account, which is compulsory because it is held in the digital format as well. So then the gold mutual funds or the funds of funds, they actually follow the fund of fund structure and invest primarily in the gold ETFs. So as I said, they will invest in those companies which actually are dealing in gold as well. And most of these things you can buy online also. The world has gone digital. Everything can be done. The buying, selling, everything it can be done online. Even the SGBs. What biggest change in the SGB which has been there in 21-22 SGBs which were launched just last week? The biggest change is that compared to last year is that till last year you needed to require a demat account also for that, which actually discouraged many investors. कि demat कौन खुलवाएगा, फिर जाना पड़ेगा. People find it cumbersome. Although opening a demat account is not at all difficult, even that can be done online. These days, even the KYC can be done online. But let's forget that for a moment. So the SGB, the RBI made a change. Usually the notified banks, except the small financial banks, which were not notified, all the RBI regulated banks, including the banks like IDFC First Bank as well, you could opt for a demat account purchase or a physical certificate purchase. You clicked, I don't have a demat account. So you clicked on the physical purchase. It'll ask you how many units, how many grams. You clicked, let's suppose 10 grams. It'll say 4727. What was the price last in the first tranche in the last week? 47270. Are you sure? Yes. Confirm. Just I mentioned in the group also yesterday. Earlier it was difficult. Now it is dhoya, bhigoya aur ho gaya. Click on the number of units. Confirm. Done. And within 2 days, the date was given as 25th of May today for issuing of the certificates. But people got the certificate even just in 36 hours. And that certificate stays in a digital form with you. That stays on your net banking as well. And obviously is available across your INB platforms, even in your mobile banking as well. So all the private and public sector banks were eligible for this, except the cooperative banks and the small finance banks. They were not notified. So These are actually guaranteed by Government of India. They carry the sovereign guarantee with them. So there are very less chances of them going default. So, but then other differences, as I mentioned, risk, returns, availability, liquidity, lock-in period, and taxation. Let's look at those, especially the risk factors first. So I'll give you all these in the tabular format now of every classification. So physical gold, we all know the risks are theft, purity issues, and loss during manufacturing. There is some amount of gold loss during the making. You pay for the making also, and you get net gold lesser in return also sometimes. Then digital gold, lack of regulatory oversight. There is still not a body which controls the digital gold. Then the gold ETF, again, a market linked product, definitely will carry the volatility. So gold mutual funds, market risk related to volatility of gold prices. SGBs, risk of sovereign default by Government of India. Yes, this risk is very less, but then we need to understand that this still is a risk, even though it is less than 1%. So all these options, what are the risks? Let's see them. So digital gold is not having any regulatory body like a SEBI or a RBI. And only 4-5 players are offering it. Augment Gold, Paytm Gold, MMTC PAM, Safe Gold. MMTC is a collaboration between the Indian government and the MMTC PAM of Switzerland, I guess. So, which actually, without any regulatory body, there is a risk sometimes. So again, the market volatility risk on ETF and mutual fund is there. Although people or the experts claim that gold ETFs and gold funds of funds actually give you more return than SGBs. But yes, even they are investing in physical gold companies. So there should not be much difference. What I find actually them different ETFs and funds of funds from the SGB is that number one, they carry an expense ratio. Gold SGBs will give you a interest of 2.5%. So what does that mean? You are actually, again, the theory of relativity comes into play. If both started at same level, this gives you interest, the other goes down. So the comparative difference will be slightly more in terms of return. Even if this gives you return, ultimately at the bottom line, the return would be still lesser than SGB. Yes, cannot be predicted, but what is my personal take on this, that the SGB would still overall give you a better return than a gold ETF and a gold mutual fund. Yes, gold funds can have again a bull run, but they can also have a bear run as well in the stock market. So because in both the instruments, the underlying asset is primary physical gold only, and the world prices of gold will actually control everything. The SGB prices or whatever the gold prices, you get redemption according to that only at the end of 5 to 8 years. I'll be discussing that. So gold ETFs will invest either in physical gold or the stocks of companies which are engaged in mining or refining gold. So ultimately their focus is on that only. So if there is an increase in price of gold, that will actually affect the performance of gold ETF as well. And yes, sometimes they are affected by the other factors which affect the market in volatility. So those things are to be taken into account. So, but then both of these mutual funds, these are a kind of mutual funds only. They are regulated by the guidelines of SEBI. And trust me, ever since the Harshad Mehta scam, SEBI has grown enormously in power with each passing year. And it is a big watchdog over all the mutual fund industry. And trust me, the guidelines are too strict. Again, no personal bias in this, but the amount of watchdogs in many sectors have grown enormously in power so that the investors are not cheated. In the real estate sector, we have RERA actually, which is governing the norms and not letting the land holders go scot-free in such regards. In mutual funds and the stock markets, SEBI has been very much effective. For banking sector, the RBI has been very strong and not letting the banks go scot-free. Every second, third day, you might be hearing the news or watching the news clipping that this bank fined this much amount of rupees for defaulting on this. Even banks like HDFC, which is the biggest private sector bank, are fined. So there is no choosing between those things, that who actually gets scot-free or not. So I mentioned the sovereign default risk applicable to sovereign gold bonds. So what is the risk? So these are actually not backed by physical gold, but a derivative of gold issued by the government of India. But then government uses the price of gold as a benchmark only. That is why it is increased in 65 rupees per gram in the last year or so. So as I'm talking to you, my phone rang and I just got a credit message of interest from the SGBs that I bought in the first tranche. So if you have bought it, you also might have got the message just now. So accordingly, so the interest payout is 2.5%, although this is taxable according to your slab. But if you fall in the 20% category, you still have 2% per annum growing. Imagine when the savings account interest have fallen for majority banks to 2.75 and 3%. This is not a bad deal at all. And this is a tax. This is a free return, if I may say so. You don't expect this. You only invested the gold for a certain purpose. This is a certain thing. So sovereign default means that the government of India is no longer able to make the scheduled repayment because the country's debt levels rise enormously. So considering even just today, the news was that the market capitalization, Indian market cap is at 3 trillion now. So it is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. So countries' debt levels, if they go enormously high, then there is a signs of economic downturn. Whatever it is, the economy in India did revive very quickly. Even when in the month of April, when the lockdown was partially inserted in many states, especially Maharashtra, partial lockdown in many states, even in Punjab, it was a partial lockdown. The GST collections were highest ever, 1.41384 crore or 1.41 lakh crore. And that is not a small amount. And December, for the first time, we crossed 1 lakh crores. If the economy did not rebound, these sort of, and these are the purchases which have been done in white. I'm not talking of the parallel black economy, which is a huge one in India. So yes, there are very little chances of the sovereign risk happening, but yes, still I have to mention the risks. Nothing comes without any risk factor. So these are the things I needed to mention along with. So then the next option is compared to affordability. Sometimes you will have a minimum amount to be put in, what amount you want to invest, because sometimes affordability becomes an issue. So what is the minimum amount that you can buy? You can buy a minimum 1 gram gold coin, which if the gold is at a price of 5,000, so gold coin will be roughly at 6,000. So yes, making charges and GST will be added to it. So gold ETF, approximately 1 gram of gold. SGBs, approximately again 1 gram of gold. Gold mutual funds can start from as low as 100. Digital gold can start from as low as ₹1. So this is the amount of affordability. You can look at it. What is the minimum investment amount that should be looking at when you are about to invest in gold? So comparison of returns and costs of gold investment options. So we need to actually look at those things as well, because many times we will have cost of investments eating up into our returns, because underlying asset is the same for every category. Whatever categories there are, underlying is only the price of gold, which would actually increase or lead to appreciation of your investment, while decrease will lead to a loss. So what are the costs of each investment? Let's look at that table compared to that again. So what are the charges? Physical gold, design, making charges roughly 10%. Insurance storage charges sometimes 3 to 4%. GST 3% of the purchase price. Digital gold, GST 3% and spread approximately 6%. You will ask what is spread. I'll explain you in the next slide. So spread is one thing which actually is an facility which is taken by the service providers between the selling and the buying. So when it comes to gold ETF, yes, the expense ratio, the demat account, annual charges, the brokerage charges. But yes, they are comparatively low cost mutual funds. These days, the regular mutual funds can have an expense ratio of 1.5, 1.6 to 2.5, maximum 2.5%, 2.25, 2.5%. The direct ones have the expense ratio in the range of this only. So the gold ETFs are comparatively in the direct expense ratio range. The direct mutual funds that you buy, they're almost the expense ratio similar to that only. So, and for the gold funds of funds, Again, the expense ratio is 0.6 to 1.2. For again, the difference other than here is 0.1 to 0.2% for managing the gold by the companies. So it's slightly expensive than the ETF, the funds of funds, but yes, these are the costs. So sovereign gold bonds is the only one which comes with no visible expenses. As I said, dhoya bhigoya aur ho gaya. Just it is an online certificate. You want a redemption, you can do that. There are various ways of redemption of SGB as well. If you want to do it before time, SGBs come with a lock-in of 8 years. Oh, sorry, lock-in of 5 years. They have a time span of 8 years. That means anytime after 5, you can, between 8, you can exit 6 monthly. You cannot exit anytime. 5 years completed, your lock-in for SGB is over. The date of your interest, whenever your interest is inculcated or incurred in your account, on that day you can exit from your SGB. If you don't exit, you'll have to wait for 6 months more. You have to notify your bank prior or place a request online prior to that. If you don't exit, if you complete your tenure, at the end of 8 years, you'll automatically exit from, you'll automatically get a redemption from the RBI or the Government of India from the SGB. So this is the biggest advantage. Alternatively, they can be traded in exchanges also. I'll explain you in the coming slides how. So as I mentioned, in the digital gold, spread approximately 6%. What is it? It is actually. So spread is the difference in the buying and the selling price. You must have seen bank में आप जाते हैं ना, gold buying price, selling price, dollar के बारे में, pound के बारे में, all these are buying and selling prices. They are different. What is that? Approximately for gold, it is 6%. For currencies, it might be 3 to 4% sometimes. Again, it varies. It keeps on changing. But for gold, it is 6%. So why? Because of the secure vault storage, technology cost, hedging cost, insurance, transportation cost. खर्चा तो हर चीज में आता ना, अगर बैंक स्टोर करके रख रहा है तो उसकी भी कॉस्टिंग लेनी है ना कहीं से. So these are the costs which actually incur, and that is why there is a difference in the spread, which is approximately 6%. You buy at an expensive and you sell at a lesser rate comparatively if you're going, especially for the digital gold. So SGBs do not have any visible expenses. Rather, if you buy them physically, you get 500 per 10 grams or 50 per gram costlier. So that is why the government actually is playing smart. Anyways, you have to buy from the bank only. So if you buy physically also, even then you have to do a transaction. So if you do online, you're actually saving on 50 per gram. So plus you get a 2.5% interest. So sometimes we can say out of all these, that is why SGB is my favorite, considering what it was offered in tranche 1 last week was one of the best prices. And we see slowly consolidation of gold. The second tranche is 65 rupees expensive. I believe that the third tranche would be again either at the same price at second or a little bit more expensive, since the gold is growing in price now. So it will not never be the price of tranche 1. So if you did not buy in tranche 1, you still can buy in tranche 2, which is valid till 25th to 29th, I guess, 28th or 29th. 4 days it is open, 28th, yes. So you need to then, this is the factor of risk factor and the costing factor or the expense factor. So availability, risk, affordability, and expenses, and now the aspects of availability. So all the other formats except SGBs are available from applicable channels, offline stores, or even the mobile apps. Even your all those demat accounts you can purchase through them. But for SGBs, they are released by RBI periodically. Whosoever bought it last year, actually people kept on asking me since the mid of March, sir, SGB कब आएगा? April आ गया. One of my group participants asked me, sir, April में आपने बोला था SGB आएगा, आया नहीं. आएगा, इकट्ठे ही आएंगे सारे. See, the second tranche will finish, and immediately on 31st, the third tranche will start. They are trying to actually make up for the time loss, and the third tranche will be from 31st to 3rd June. So in a way, by third month of the year, April, May, June, the third month is June, by 3rd June, they will finish the third tranche. The fourth tranche will be in July, then the one in August, and the sixth will begin on 31st August, going up till 5th or 3rd September. So they have been announced only for 6 months now, but yes, the next 6 tranches will be announced by August or September as well. So usually the buying window is open for 4 to 5 days at a time, and they're allotted on the 7th or the 8th day. For example, it was open from 21 to 24 and the allotment date was given as 25. So people received the certificate on the second or third day itself. So these are announced by RBI and the government of India. The government also needs money. So that is the way they actually utilize your money for growth and investment in the country, for building up infrastructure and other things in that. So apart from then we have discussed about risk, affordability, the expense, the availability. Now, one of the important options is the liquidity. How easily you can liquidate your gold. So how easily you can convert them to cash. So investments of physical gold, digital gold, ETF, funds of funds can be bought and sold quite easily. So they can be like a liquid investments, like a mutual funds. You get a payment on T+2 or T+3 day. T means your transaction day. So +2 or +3 means the gap of the working days between the amount that arrives. Sometimes for liquid funds, it is T+0, T+1 also as well. So for sovereign gold bonds, as I mentioned, the maturity period is 8 years, but does not mean that you have to hold it for 8 years. You can have two options. Either you can have a premature encashment after 5 years. 5 years is the lock-in period. You can't exit before 5 from the government point of view. You can't sell it back to the government. But after 5 years, on the date of your interest, you can sell it back to the government also. So in case you want to redeem your investment before you complete this 5-year period, you can list and sell your SGB on the secondary market. People do exchange of SGB on your stock market as well. But yes, that comes at a discount. If we talk of things at premium, that means we buy expensive. These SGBs, if we are in urgent need of money, we will be doing anytime after. If you bought it today, you can do it from November onwards. Minimum 6 months completed, you can list your SGBs on secondary market and get a buyer for that. But yes, then you will have to sell your bonds at a discount. You can't get at a market price. So, but yes, when people want to sell it prematurely, they have to look at those things. So only invest in gold for the funds that you have lump sum. Don't invest in gold from your emergency fund. So banks will offer you, recently in the MPG webinar, I discussed about the loans as well in depth. Similar to health insurance, we had 3 sessions on loan where I discussed all types of loans. That webinar would be there, I think, by next week, 1st or 2nd of June, it will be there online. Already, all of the webinars have been already scheduled till the end of June. So the SBI will offer a loan up to keeping your SGB as a collateral up to 35% of the value. We discussed how the gold in the gold loan, the collateral can be used. Many things can be used as a collateral. So collateral means the security against which you can be given the loan amount. So the final factor after risk, affordability, availability, liquidity, expenses is the taxation. The tax kitna padega. So capital gains are applicable in every format: physical gold, digital gold, gold ETF, and the funds of funds. So it all, nothing, the number one thing is nothing of them is a tax saving investment like a ATC, like a ATD, like anything. Nothing of them is an investment, is a hedge against inflation. So you can't use it for your tax saving purposes. You use it for investment purposes. You need it to balance out your inflation. You need to balance it out as your savior against the returns and managing those things equally. So if if your holding period is less than 3 years, then you are applicable to short-term capital gains. If more than 3 years, then long-term capital gains. For short-term, the income would be added to the gains would be added to your taxable income, income from other sources, and then the gains would be added and you will be taxed as per your slab, 20%, 30%, whatever it is. 5% is anyways tax-free because of Section 87A rebate. So if you hold your gold for 3 years, the LTCG rules are applicable to the same. So the currently LTCG on physical gold, digital gold are calculated at 20% of the capital gains with indexation benefit. Indexation benefit, for those who don't know, most of you must be knowing, indexation is again the inflation adjusted value, inflation adjusted calculation. For example, you bought something in 2010 at 100 rupees. That thing, if you have to buy today, will be expensive. So accordingly, the value of 100 rupees would not be the same. It would have grown lesser in value. So that benefit of indexation is passed. So it is taken at the current value. The indexation formulas are launched by, released by government only. So you get the benefit of indexation. And I was actually not aware that whether they are applicable in SGB as well, but they are, yes, in mutual funds, but they are definitely applicable in mutual funds as well at 20% with indexation. I was aware that maybe 20% without indexation is there, but yes, indexation benefits are there in gold as well. Thank you, Dr. Dheeraj, for correcting me, because I had forgotten that when I mentioned in the group. So the taxation of SGB is totally different. If you hold it for full period, the gains are totally tax free. Yes, the interest you get on your investment is anyways a free return, that is taxable. Means आप उसको अपनी income में add करेंगे, जो extra interest आपको आ रहा है, you will add that in your income from other sources, and then accordingly you'll be taxed according to your slab. If you fall in 20% category, you'll get a post-tax return of 2%. So you can add according to your FY and according to the applicable slab rate. So this is the reason I wanted my balance sheet workshop guys to join this session, because of this reason, that many things would be refreshed before the second session tomorrow. So taxation on premature redemption. If you prematurely come again after the lock-in period of 5 years, the 5-year compulsory period is there. You give it back to the government. Again, your gains would be completely tax-free. Even at 5 years, even at 8 years, at any year, 6 years, 7 years, between 5 to 8, the gains are tax-free. So, but then redemption window is open every 6 months on the day of your interest. The interest would be incurred and the bonds would be redeemed that day. That way you can complete the premature encashment. You have to place the request before your date of interest being there. So remember, you cannot just get up and redeem your mutual funds, or redeem your SGBs any day. So then taxation on maturity. Again, if you hold them till 8 years, the returns would be again tax-free, totally tax-free. So that is what separates the SGB from all the gold investments. That is the reason I have been, focusing on, or pressurizing, not pressurizing directly, but indirectly, to invest in gold or invest in SGB, because it comes with a host of benefits. And if you look at the overall return, SGB will surely give you better returns. Then taxation on stock market sale. Again, as I said, capital gains taxation rules would apply. STCG or short-term capital gains less than 3 years, long-term capital gains above 3 years. If you are on 20% slab, you will have automatically the same rates, technically. But if you are in a 30% slab, for STCG, it will be 30%. For LTCG, it will be still 20% for you. And you don't have to do that. Everything has been now passed down to the mutual funds. And even when a mutual fund is redeemed these days, along with the STT, security transactions tax, 0.25 paisa, 25 paisa or 0.25 rupees, along with that transaction, that is actually to bring the circuit into the tax net, so that you don't escape. All the indexation, all the LTCG is calculated by the mutual fund company only. It gives you a breakup. Maybe it can deduct a TDS or a TCS as well, and mention the same, make an entry in the same in your form 26AS. So this is the way. Now, from now on, we'll have all pre-filled, all these things pre-filled in our ITRs. So there is no way you can escape it. Even the saving bank interest will be pre-filled in your ITRs. So the government is actually tightening the noose since the past 3-4 years. And I think this is the epitome of tightness. And there could not be any further tightness. If still people believe that they can grow scot-free in the gray market, they are actually fooling themselves. So what are our key takeaways from all these 5-6 factors that we have discussed on gold and different types of which one is the most suitable for you? The answer is a no-brainer. But still, let's look at these things. So what is the gold investment? The definition: management risk small, return-wise investment. So compare to gold. This is a slide which yes. So for when it comes to gold, physical gold, ETF is in the format of a physical format, proportionate value. And gold funds, again, those companies are investing in bullions and companies which are involved in gold mining. So for a physical gold, you don't need a demat account. But for ETFs, you need a demat account. For gold funds, you still not need a demat account. So because these are a kind of a mutual funds only. So then no additional charges other than the physical gold. Sometimes asset management and brokerage fees, a minimum charge applicable. Risk of theft and burglary. Since these are digital, there is no risk of theft and burglary. There is no paperwork, but there is paperwork involved in these two categories. So market fluctuations are proportionate, and again, this gold price directly affects those things. So again, gold is a precious metal which is liquid in nature, can be redeemed anytime. And in mutual fund, it is like a big pizza. You buy a slice of that pizza, where many investors have actually invested in that big pizza slice. So the management is made by the investor, and whosoever has bought that gold. Here, professionally managed people, experts actually manage the risks. The physical gold carries the risk of storage and theft and burglary, but this is a paperless format, digital format, so there is no chance. There are no dividends, but yes, mutual funds, if you selected the dividend option, they will offer you a dividend option as well sometimes. But again, the costing will have to be, again, minimum usually 1 gram. You can pick up 5,000 for 1 gram. For mutual funds, you can start as low as even 1,000 for your return purposes. So if you compare the risk, minimum investment requirements, returns, cost, liquidity, availability, and taxation with the criteria which I've given you to choose between the different things. So I won't recommend in physical gold and digital gold because of the risks associated. And obviously there are high buy and sell spreads. I hope you know what is a spread right now. So if in the gold case, it is up to close to 6%. So I will not encourage these two. So if you can afford a lock-in of 5 years, SGBs would be your my most suitable choice. Since I am not investing my prime money, I'm investing only my spare money. And even I advise maybe 10, maximum 15% of your portfolio should not be containing gold. So again, you will have regular payouts as interest also many a times, but then you can get tax-free returns as well. There are a lot of benefits which we have discussed for that reason. So in case you are looking to stay invested in gold for short term, no more than 3 years, you can opt for funds of funds or gold ETFs. So these are the things which are actually beneficial because of the high liquidity and availability. So ultimate choosing factor is time span and the tax-free returns for me. The rest of the other factors would remain the same. So if you're buying in the physical gold format, what are the documents you need? So this was all about the discussion. Now let's come to discussion about physical gold. I know many of you still will not be convinced for buying digital gold. Let me discuss a few aspects on physical gold because that is still the most prevalent custom in our society. People actually don't look at it. I was talking to a colleague and his mother and father were standing alongside him, mentioning the benefits of the SGB. Auntie, my friend's mother, actually promptly responded, "Beta, शादी के लिए गोल्ड जरूरत पड़ेगा तो उसके गले में सर्टिफिकेट डाल देंगे." So they were actually not aware of this thing, that these things still have a good redemption possibility. So she was actually laughing over that scenario that we'll be putting a gold certificate as a garland in the daughter's neck. So if you are buying more than 2 lakhs of gold in physical, you will need a PAN card. Well, ETF, you will actually do a KYC where you will needing your brokerage firm and a demat account, as I told you. The demat account is opened with the KYC only, with the AMC, with a say capital management company, with the AMC, with the asset management company, many factors. So for SGBs, since the system has now changed, you can buy in the physical format as well, along with the banks, and the banks are doing it in a simplified way. And usually the banks have a norm that every 2 years, the KYC is mandatory for every customer. So the KYC, if you're buying through the bank, automatically, unless you want to change, even the nominees would be applied as they exist in your account. Some net bankings are opting or asking for a nominee to be put, like a Kotak Mahindra, like a HDFC. Banks like IDFC First, banks like IndusInd, they are not asking for the nominees to be put. So what happens? Not that they are coming without nominee. Whatever nominee you have given in your saving bank account, Whatever KYC you have given, the same would be replicated in your SGB certificate, which is being issued to you by the RBI. The certificate straight away comes from the RBI only. And trust me, the banks are the good sons of RBI these days, sons and daughters, of course. Again, no bias. So you will ask me, if you want to invest, what are the top funds of funds or top gold funds in India? Without any sequence, these are the top 5 funds. You can compare the returns online. Axis Gold Fund, Aditya Birla Sun Life Gold Fund, Canara Robeco Gold Savings Fund, SDFC and ICICI Pru regular gold savings funds. So they are the ones which are giving good returns if you look at the traditional 1 year and 3 year scenario. So this was much about the gold. So the bottom line is that every investment will have a benefit and a drawback. So if you are not in favor of holding physical gold, you have the option of FOF, ETF or SGB. I hope the mental framework ki ETF kya hota hai or funds of funds kya hota, that should be clear. And even the SGB, what is it should be clear after today's session. So gold is not a passive investment like a stock or a bond, but we still will give you a regular income in the form of interest and dividends. And it can be excellent liquidity option, and obviously a hedge which can beat inflation soundly. So what else do you need? आप सिर्फ यही कहेंगे कि सर इसको टैक्स सेविंग इन्वेस्टमेंट भी होना चाहिए था. अब सब कुछ नहीं ना दे सकते गवर्नमेंट. सो सब कुछ इस दुनिया में मुकम्मल जहां किसी को नहीं मिलता, सो गोल्ड को भी नहीं मिलेगा, डोंट वरी. सो एटलीस्ट नॉट टुडे इन टुडेज टाइम. सो द एडवांटेजेस easily outperform the disadvantages without even a second thought. So for all those investors who don't need the funds in short term, you can opt for SGB, gives you a lock-in of 5 years. But still, if you are investing in PPF for 15 years, there is no reason you should detest the gold or SGB as well. So now let's look at a few of the mistakes that you do when buying gold. Can be digital, can be physical gold. Usually I'll be dealing with 3 or 4 of mistakes which we do while buying the physical gold. So usually this is common with the global scenario. These are the mistakes which are done all over the world, not only in India. So these are the mistakes which are done. So the number one thing is, sometimes you ask the local jeweler, if I'm ready to sell, will you buy this back? So if he says no, the answer is do not buy from them, especially if it is a local jeweler. That goes without say. So if the jeweler does not buy back, it has to be one of the 2 reasons. Either they don't value the metals, or they are embarrassed by the spreads between sale and purchase, because the difference is too much. 6% is a lot of difference. So although not likely, if they don't actually value the same, they shouldn't give it to you. Or maybe they are charging too much, or maybe they are not giving you a purest form. So maybe you are not acting expert in checking out the criteria for that how to check and what to check. I'll tell you those things as well. So don't be fooled into thinking otherwise. So the number 2 mistake is that you don't have a goal. Here, the jeweler and the dealer, or the mutual fund advisor, or the expert in the market, both the ways it can happen. There are many ways to buy a gold, many reasons as well. Some people look at it as a wealth insurance kind of a thing. जब जरूरत पड़ेगी इसको break करवा लेंगे. But then some are motivated by profit also. Then some actually go on trading for the various indicators in the market. So where you should actually, your expert, your guider, your advisor should be able to tell you how and why you should invest. So obviously a jeweler cannot guide you about your goals, but your mutual fund advisor or your fund advisor or your financial advisor should be able to tell you that if you are doing in gold, what are the purposes for doing it. So make your purpose clear to either the jeweler or your advisor. And if he is actually worth weight, his advice is worth weight in gold, he'll surely guide you to the best possible option. I'm not an advisor for you all, but I'm trying to help you out in all these options. So then again, number 3 mistake, wrong jeweler and product. So once we know our goal, the right product and the right storage option, if you're working with the right jeweler. So reputable jewelers always have a reputation to carry, and they will carry your best interest in the mind. And always work with people or buy from jewelers who are referred by or are a trusted source. They should not be the ones, the local jewelers should not be given a priority for massive purchases, especially. So make sure that the jeweler has a positive reputation. of taking care of the customers, and always take a second or a third opinion, second or a third pricing for whatever you want to buy, and avoid high pressure jewelers who actually don't work according to a time schedule. And obviously, the rule number 1 will come into play again. If they don't buy back, don't just walk away, run from their shop. So what are the gold jewelry buying precautions? Yes, this is a topic which will interest the ladies of the session today. They must be knowing much more than what I'm going to tell. But yes, still it is my duty to aware the men also of this group. So we all love the precious yellow metal, more so the ladies. And it is a world-renowned fact. Indians and their gold and their jewelry, they are, as the foreigners say, for us. So even when it comes to buying the gold, if a female says gold, she doesn't mean a gold bar or a gold coin. She always obviously means a gold jewelry only. So it is not a fashion accessory for us. It is an investment also for us. Many of the times we use, we recycle, we retransfer the same jewelry from generation to generation. And that is actually done as per our customs and traditions in India. So we love to flaunt it every chance we get. आज party पे जाना है तो आज मैं वो अपना महंगे वाला set पहन के जाऊंगी. How many times you have heard it from our spouses, our mothers, our aunts, the family. So an Indian woman's attire and wardrobe are never complete without any gold jewelry actually highlighting the dress of the female along with. So obviously we are amongst the top consumers of gold jewelry all over the world. So yes, this is a thing to be proud of. But yes, so many jewelry stores across all cities of India are a big testimony to this. But then we believe that we know the art of buying the jewelry. Really, let's check it out. So we don't know actually how much pure or impure is the gold. And people are sometimes fooled into buying an impure gold jewelry, and they actually lose money. How does this happen? So let's see the do's of buying the gold jewelry. So yellow metal is catching our attention, but we need to exercise due diligence because it is very common to make mistakes. So what are the do's that you should remember? So the number 1 do is check the purity. Whatever kind of jewelry you want to buy, always check the purity. And the second method, the best method to check, that is the hallmarking. So hallmark is a symbol which is actually which signifies the proportion of gold which is used, and it is actually certified by the BIS, the Bureau of Indian Standards. So always go for a BIS certified gold. It almost has 100% resale value, except the making charges, of course. Otherwise, it comes with the 100% making charge value. Then know the basics. So check for a BIS hallmark. How do you go about reading it? Because every jewelry will have a engraved BIS stamp, the year of hallmark also, and a mark to identify the jeweler. Now the year has been, I think, done away with. Earlier it used to be from the letters. I'll be mentioning it in the coming slides. So earlier it used to be like a letter, for example, sorry, what carat it is, you will find the letter K. So then it can denote the percentage of purity. For example, if it is a 22 karat gold, it means it contains 91.6% of pure gold. A 24 karat means 99.99% of pure gold. So you will often find 916 engraved in jewelry, which means 91.6 or 22 karat gold engraved in this. So there are sometimes white gold and maybe stone studded rose gold ornaments as well, which come in 18 karat gold usually, and they will contain 75% pure gold. They will not be 91 or 99%. So always cross check the price, because the purity of the gold will determine its price, and the price keeps on changing every day depending upon the prevailing market rate. So all the stores, all the jewelry shops will display the daily rates, but always discount the purity of gold when you have to calculate the price of the gold. Then always Indians are famous for bargaining, negotiate the bargaining or the making charges. That is one thing which can be negotiated by the jewelers. So there is a labor cost involved in that. It is usually based on the percentage of gold. Usually up to 5 to 6% of the making charges of the gold price are the making charges. So you have all the right to bargain because it is an expensive buy. So you need to indulge in that. So yes, you have to exercise caution, use these do's very carefully. But along with that, you have to be very careful of the don'ts as well. because if you don't, you will actually end up buying an inferior product. So what are the don'ts? Plain gold versus stone studded jewelry. There'll be some ornaments which will come with diamond earrings, ruby bangles, emeralds, which we actually, if you're buying it for an investment purpose, never buy a studded jewelry. Always buy a pure gold jewelry only, which again has a less of artifact work done, less of microscopic work done over there. So, but if you want to buy the studded jewelry, if you are not buying it for investment, but going by that, the first thing you should check out for the purity of the stones, which is it studded with, and then the net weight of the gold, which is you are being charged. Sometimes the stones will make it heavier, so the net weight of gold might be lesser. You have to pay for the stones separately, and you have to pay for the gold separately. So, and again, studded jewelries come with a more of a microscopic working patterns, as I say, more of intricate designs and patterns. So obviously the labor is extensive over there, and the labor charges would also be expensive. So then cheap does not always mean the best. There are more than 13,000 Bismarck showrooms and 435 BIS recognized hallmarking etching centers also. And this is a data of which is 2 years old. So, but yes, these are continually increasing in numbers. So there are many areas of the country, tier 3 centers, tier 4 centers, which are without hallmarking. So where, especially in rural India, so wherever the rural centers are not there, it is very difficult to trust a jeweler who's offering you a jewelry. Whether it is a Bismarcked or a hallmark jewelry or not, you will actually not be able to tell by that matter. So you can contact BIS also if you're not very sure. Or also, I'll give you the contact of BIS also, how you can get in touch with them. So then don't resell to other jewelers. We usually have a habit, purana gold de ke naya gold le lo. This is one habit which actually makes us lose lots and lots of money in that, because it is always best to sell to a jeweler from whom you have bought rather than selling to a different jeweler, because many jewelers will have a buyback policy, and usually they'll give you 100% of the net value of gold according to the current prevalent prices. But yes, the spread value comes into that as well. So again, you will have to drop the making charges. When you are going for resale, the making charges will not be entered in there. You will get only the value of the gold. So buying jewelry is not an easy task. So don't buy without bills. Anything above 2 lakh, we have to give PAN details. तो कैश में डील करते हैं हम लोग, आदत है हमारे को पैरेलल मार्केट में करने की. Then we'll buy it without bills. And sometimes when you have to resell, then there is an issue. So I repeat, always ask for a bill. Obviously, then you have to pay PAN number also and pay a GST also. So there is nothing wrong in it. If you want your that, अगर आप GST नहीं देंगे तो फिर GST के figures हर महीने highest कहाँ से आएंगे? So go and buy without bill. So just look at the purity thing, 91.6 or 91.7 for 22 carat. 24 carat is 99.99% gold. If it is a 10 carat, it will have 41.7% pure gold. 14 carat would have 58.3. 18 carat would have 75% pure gold. And this I told you 91.6 or 91.7. So that will be there. So a gold jewelry, what exactly does it cost? Obviously, I've just taken it as an example. The gold price is not at this price, but presume that the gold price per 10 grams is 23682. The making charges can be as high as 10% as well. So add making charges. At that time, this is an old slide. So VAT also used to be at 1%. So now the GST is at 3%. So the total costing goes up. So similarly for 24, 23, 22 carat, 23 carat is 95.8%. So accordingly, the carat based cost goes on increasing and decreasing accordingly. So what are the 4 components? Let's look at them once again. Earlier it used to be 5 components. Now there are 4 components: the Bismarck, the purity in carat and fineness, the etching and the hallmark center number, and the jeweler's identification marker number. So the Bismarck, I told you, BIS logo, BIS hallmark logo is there. It is a sign of purification. And obviously Bismarcking is voluntary, but most of the jewelers will do it because many people are aware these days, ladies especially, they don't buy the gold without a BIS hallmark. So the purity, I told you, 24 carat is the purest form, 99.99% it is pure. So, but then 24 carat is sometimes too soft and cannot be converted into jewelry and ornaments. So that is why certain impurities are added. So people prefer buying a 22 karat, which is 91.7% and has about 8.3 or 8.4% of silver and zinc, to actually make it more malleable and ductile, to actually convert it into a different form of jewelry. So then this website, how does the hallmarking act? It will be 22K916. It means 22 karat, 91.6% gold. 18 karat, 75% of pure gold. 14 karat, 585% of pure, 58.5% of pure gold. So this is the way actually hallmarking is done. And it is embossed actually on a smaller area. You have to look out for a magnifying glass like of a thing. So it'll be these 4 marks, sorry. So Essing center number, the mark of the jeweler, and the carat and fineness. So look out for these numbers. It will tell you the purity of the gold at the time of buying. So you pay for 22 karat and not pay for 24 karat when you're buying a 22 karat. So Essing number, only licensed laboratory or BSIs can put that logo or hallmark. And obviously the purity does matter with that. Certain jewelers will also put the identification mark so that वो कह सकते हैं ना हमने आपसे ही खरीदा था, बिल था कि नहीं था. Some people try to omit कि jeweler का mark हो तो बिल नहीं भी हो तो चल जाएगा. So this is the way actually go about it. So till 2016, 31st December, there was a 5th mark also, additional component, which was actually by letter A was used for the year 2000, A, B, C, D, E, F. So if it was a letter J, it meant year 2008. So उन्होंने सोचा 27 में तो अल्फाबेट्स खत्म हो जाएंगे, फिर वो कार के नंबरों की तरह A, B, AC, AC, DC करना पड़ेगा. So that is why they omitted this since 2017. So I think till L it was N is 19. So I think it was probably till Q, if I'm not wrong, till 2016. So that was the thing which actually came. So points to remember, there are the charges that have to be paid to get the jewelry hallmark. As per BIS website, 35 plus taxes is charged per gold item for a BIS marking. For a consignment, a minimum of rupees 200 plus taxes is charged as well. So hallmarking is not done instantly as well. It may take 5 to 6 hours to get the purity of gold checked and make a hallmark symbol or do that. So if you're still not happy regarding your hallmark jewelry, this is the email hallmarking@bis.org.in or a toll-free number which you can call and you can contact them if you're not sure of your gold jewelry. So coming to the end of the presentation, the summary for today. So millions of kilograms of physical gold is purchased every year. While some investors will want a gold ETF or a gold mutual fund or a funds of funds, some would prefer a SGB or a physical. It is more of a mind thing. People believe physical gold has more liquidity, but then it comes with a lot of other disadvantages as well. Every investment, everything would have an advantage and a disadvantage. But yes, you have to look at the holistic picture. And for me, the SGB fits the bill in that case. Especially if you don't have a function or a marriage or a lock-in period in the next 5 years, buy SGB, and obviously the gold should give you good returns. Gold, yes, has been the preferred thing over the various reasons, culturally, religiously, custom-wise, and many advantages which actually work in favor of gold. The long-term storage value, it does not get expired, it does not get have obsolescence, then it will always have a value. It is a great inflation hedge, balances out the returns, great liquid option, no specialized knowledge needed to buy it. Yes, for especially for the hallmarking jewelry. For SGB, you almost need nil. Whatever you needed, I had already given you. So helps diversify your investment portfolio. So investing in gold is not that difficult as you might have been thinking. So what is the carry home gyan for today? So gold has lots of benefits if you want to actually protect your investment in the long run from the low returns and from hedging against the volatile equity market. So people across the world believe in this theory, and everyone depends upon gold because other assets still are not considered to be stable. But for this reason, you can see a steep hike in gold. Whenever there is turbulence in global equity market, the gold goes up. And of course, whenever there are political tensions between the two countries, the gold goes up. So, but then gold prices, advantage is that the prices remain stable throughout the world. They don't vary from country to country enormously, and you will get at more or less same price across the world, depending upon your currency, of course, for that country. So whether you want to buy in physical format, you can compare gold rate anywhere. Very rarely you will have a huge difference in a price in Ludhiana and price in Delhi and a price in Mumbai. There will not be a major difference in that. So then you don't need a lot of financial knowledge. And yes, now you can buy them in electronic format as well, because it is the time to evolve and change. But yes, e formats can actually fluctuate, especially the ETFs and the funds of funds, if the markets crash due to global tension, due to oil prices, or due to the current COVID scenario as well. So for that reason, you need to keep a track of your gold rates on a regular basis before you begin your investment. For that matter, you have to keep track of every of your investment for that reason. So moral of the whole story for today is, when you buy gold, you protect against inflation. Your value increases over time. It is easy to store and move. You are protected against economical uncertainty. It improves and preserves your purchasing power. It is not a tangible asset like a share and bonds. Physical gold cannot be bankrupted or broke. It cannot get expired also. Gold does not require a specialized knowledge. You can easily convert it to cash and can be with you everywhere in your times of need. It has negative correlation to stocks and bonds. So definitely it is a good diversification and provides you a good hedge as well. So thank you so much for your patience. I hope I stuck to my time. Yes, 80 minutes exactly from when I started. So this is my YouTube channel. You all are aware of it. You'll be surprised, out of 1,300 of you, only 300 are subscribed on YouTube. You're getting a video almost every day. So do subscribe to my channel. You will be getting videos every day, at least till the end of July for sure. And till July, there will be a huge database created. After that, I will not need much of videos, since most of the topics would be covered in the basic format on the YouTube itself. So yes, for advanced, I have the workshops and the lectures otherwise. So this is my social media presence, going by my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep, except the page, which is by Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. So my email, website, and my phone number. So if you want to read more on mutual funds and finance articles, there are articles available on my website, the WJSR website as well. 4 more parts are coming next week. So you'll have 24 of parts available. Yes, I'll be completing the backlog by June, and surely for every, and will be on the current month issue by June end. So do send me your valuable feedback in whatever WhatsApp group you are in, free group, paid group, balance sheet group, wherever you are. Please do send me your valuable feedback. Bouquets and brickbats would be welcome in equal measure. And if you had something to gain, do put in your kind words. Thank you so much once again. And I stop my share for the queries from you. And firstly, I'll be taking up the queries from the chat, and then I'll be picking up the live queries from you, from whosoever is present in today's session. Okay, so indeed, inflation is more than, yes, Shripal, inflation is always, we have the cost of living, which is more. So is Paytm Gold reliable? I'm getting occasional reminders on the app to invest in digital gold. I told you, Ajay sir, it is not much reliable because there is no regulatory body over the digital gold as yet. So I'm not really, this is the least reliable out of the all options of gold which is available. So I will, if I have to pick out of those 5, this will be my 5th option to pick. So Upstox Gold, please share if it's good or not. Upstox is again a third party to actually invest in that. Again, digital gold options are still not regulated. So you have to exercise caution when using it, Dr. Vyomika. So how 8 years counts in investment? Is it different for every purchase, or 8 years time starts after first purchase? From the date you bought, if you bought in the first tranche, from the date you bought it, your 8 years will start from that day. So if you bought in the, let's suppose, 4th tranche in July, then your 8 years will start from that day. So not all compounded together, but they are separately 8 years from each investment, from each certificate, because there will be a certificate issued to you and it will have the starting date. So that date will be used to calculate 5 years or 8 years. I hope you get your answer, Dr. Jwalajit. So Dr. Dheeraj says, sir, please compare prices of gold ETF and SGB while selling. Both amount will be calculated, but gold price at that time. So final price is same of gold for both, only difference is expense ratio. No, the STCG and LTCG come into picture. The expense ratio comes into picture. The theory of relativity comes into picture. The gold mutual fund or the fund of the fund has expense ratio, so less return. It has a LTCG or STCG, so less return. They started out on same level. So 1 step 2 down. This is actually offering you 2.5% tax return. It is offering you tax-free returns. So maybe they both move 2 steps. It moved 2 steps down, it moved 2 steps up, but the relative difference would be 4 steps, just to give you an example. So definitely, if the gold price is the same, the returns would be more in SGB. That is a given thing. Unless the company which has invested in the mining or the stocking gives you excellent returns, it is a small cap company. Maybe if it gives you excellent returns, then maybe. But overall, looking at the current scenario, I would still believe that the SGB would give you more return than the ETF or the FOF. So not only expense ratio, the 2 other factors in that, 2 positive in that and 2 negative in this. So can SGB used for loan against gold? Yes, I told you. Banks like SBI have offered up to 35% of gold as offering them as collateral. So whatever your questions are, they have already been taken care of in the presentation itself. I usually try to visualize what the queries can be. I usually try to include them in the session itself. So which form is better in SGB, DMAT form or physical form? See, the convenience has been increased. I mentioned in the presentation also, the convenience has been increased. Dhoya bighoya ho gaya, the word was used twice because of this reason only. So it has been made ki log kehte the DMAT account kaun khulwayega, itna mushkil paperwork, all those things. Just for the net banking, place the order, number of units, confirm and done. So obviously I will say the INB route or the physical format. And again, when you have to liquidate, you have to again give an online request only. So what is the problem? I don't think so. Yes, DMAT, who are regularly using a DMAT system, they might be finding that more adept. But I think this is the system which is friendly for everyone, whosoever is not using the DMAT as well. So there is no reason you should not be following. The physical form means the certificate can be printed out, but otherwise they'll electronically exist online in your net banking as well. So Dr. Vinay, you didn't ask any question, just dot. Okay, never mind. Dr. Shruti Goel, these days making charges can be as yes, yes, Dr. Shruti, that varies actually. The more intricate the design, jitni bareek maheen kaam, utna zyada costing. So yes, the making charges can vary, but on an average, I gave the figure. It varies from 6 to 8 to 10% maximum, usually for a standard design. But as the work goes more precise, you'll surely do that. Italian jewelry in Dubai is having making charges in the range of 50%. Wow. Dubai is known for gold. Definitely they'll be having more charges. Never mind. Italian marble used to be expensive. So Italian jewelry is also expensive. Okay, I have to go to Italy now. So never mind. So monthly payment schemes do not add making charges. Monthly payment schemes, if they are the EMIs, if they have invested in what format, you need to know. What are they giving you back? Usually they give an offer of 11 plus 1. So whatever they give you at the end of the month, whatever is your accumulated amount, either you can buy a jewelry for that amount. Usually they'll give you 11 plus 1 scheme only for that lure. But when you buy, you still have to pay for the making charges. That is what I believe. Again, if the jeweler has a different, this is a personal equation. Usually it is launched by the local jewelers or maybe even the branded jewelers as well. But yes, last year, I don't remember the name, which the jeweler which went bankrupt in 2019, offering these schemes. I'll give you the name in the group. I don't remember it, but a very, very well reputed jeweler from Kerala, I guess, or I think Maharashtra. Not sure. I'll get back with the name. So Dr. Snail, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, I hope you. Dr. Vyomika, thank you. Dr. Ramchandra, thank you so much. Dr. Satya, thank you. Dr. Vyomika, lifelong lessons. Yes, Dr. Divya, thank you. Okay, Dr. Dheeraj, thank you. Yes, I actually had forgotten indexation. So that is why I mentioned your name. I always give credit where it is due. So yes, you made me remind the indexation thing when we were discussing the SGB in my personal chat. So it was optimum for me to mention your name. Thank you. So Dr. Shripal, considering inflation of more than 10%, I mean, is there any advantage of investing in gold considering 2.5%? Array, 2.5% is the free interest. Don't look at that. I showed you a chart of the gold return. In the previous 10 years, it has given you 9.6%. That is the average. If you look at the 5-year returns, it is more than 15%. If you just look at 2020, it is 45%. In 2015 also, it was 40 to 43%. So 2.5 अलग चीज है बॉस. 2.5 तो एक्स्ट्रा बोनस है. जो गोल्ड की वैल्यू एप्रिशिएट होनी है वो अलग चीज है. You will not get the SGB at 2.5. SGB ka, let's suppose you bought 10 carats, or sorry, 10 grams or 1 carat, not carat, 1 tola or 10 grams today at 47,000 roughly, let's suppose. If the gold grows in 8 years or 5 years to 95,000, that 10 grams, you will get 95,000. और इस 5 साल में जो आपको 2.5% ब्याज मिला, that will be a separate thing, bonus. आपको वैल्यू मिलनी है गोल्ड की. व्हाट विल बी, एंड सबसे बड़ी बात, अगर गोल्ड का प्राइस 5 साल 8 साल में डबल हो गया तो ऑल दैट रिटर्न इज टैक्स फ्री. दैट इज व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड देन इफ यू लुक एट द रूल ऑफ 72, कौन सी इन्वेस्टमेंट है जो आपको आज की डेट में डबल करके दे रही है इन 6 years 7 years? रूल ऑफ 72 जानते हैं कि नहीं आप? डिवाइडिंग द नंबर ऑफ ईयर्स. अगर किसी इन्वेस्टमेंट को 5 साल में डबल करना है तो आपको 14.4% रिटर्न चाहिए. If divided by 72 by 9, if the prevalent rate of interest is 9%, your investment will grow double in 8 years. So if the gold is giving you 9.6% in the past 10 years, आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट 7.5 सवा 7 साल में डबल हो जाएगी. If the gold goes by the current, it is already giving more than that. So look at that value, tax-free value. Don't look at the value of 2.5. वो तो बोनस है एक्स्ट्रा, वो तो इंसेंटिव है, वो तो आपका एक तरह से मेकिंग चार्ज गवर्नमेंट आपको दे रही है कि आपने हमारे नेट बैंकिंग में इन्वेस्ट किया, सॉरी गोल्ड बॉन्ड में इन्वेस्ट किया. तो 2.5 को मत देखिए, इट इज नॉट द रिटर्न. सो डॉक्टर रोहित, थैंक यू. Which ETF is good, reliable and secure? There are so many ETFs which are good. Again, I gave you the list for the funds of the funds. I'll give you the ETF list in the group itself, Dr. Rajesh sir. So how will it beat inflation? श्रीपाल, अब तो मेरे को लगता है 2.5 वाला मैंने आंसर कर दिया. ओके, डॉक्टर ज्वालाजी, कंफ्यूजन क्लियर्ड. डॉक्टर ऑसरिक, थैंक यू. वर्थ इट्स वेट इन गोल्ड. यस, श्योरली. सो यस डॉक्टर धीरज, थैंक यू सो मच. डॉक्टर आदित्य, ग्रुप खोला करो जल्दी, बहुत दिनों बाद खोलते हो. एक्सीलेंट प्रेजेंटेशन, थैंक यू. सो डॉक्टर पारो, thank you. Everything is clear related to gold, even to how to buy jewelry for people like us. Don't tell me, Dr. Paro, you don't know about the Bismarcking. मेरे ऐसे बंदे को ना पता हो तो बात अलग है. मेरे को तो फाइनेंस के कारण पता है, बट ट्रस्ट मी, अगर मैं 5 साल पीछे जाऊं तो मेरे को ABC नहीं पता था हॉल मार्किंग के बारे में. इतना पता था कि हॉल मार्किंग होती है, बट आई नेवर न्यू अबाउट दोस कैरेट्स एंड दोस थिंग्स. इट इज ओनली द फाइनेंस थिंग. Yes, whenever I go to buy a jewelry with my mom or with my wife, sometimes usually I avoid going over there, but if I have to go, I take my magnifying glass also along. वो कहते ये किस लिए लेके जा रहा है, मुझे कुछ देखना है वहां पे जाके. मैंने I don't tell them what I see. So I told you, showed you the slide also, that hallmark slide. So yes, that is a good one. So yes, gold investment is clear, and I hope you all add at least minimum 10% of gold in your portfolio, Dr. Shruti. Yes, thank you, Dr. Raghu. Thank you, Dr. Ashish. Thank you, Dr. Madhavi. Thank you, Dr. Krishnapriya. Thank you for thank you, Dr. Desmond. You joined it at the last moment. You just messaged me at 8. If I had started at 8, you would have missed the lecture. Okay, Sripal, I hope the query was clear. Thank you. What is the approximately 30-year return for gold? I've not calculated it, but yes, I've given you the chart. We can calculate it from that. But then whatever return we take in those regards, the economy was different in those days. The returns were different. And yes, the indexation has to be taken into account. But no investments are done keeping the benchmark of 30 years in sight. Maximum investment benchmark is taken as 10 years. Because many things actually go out of sight also in 10 years. So 1 year, 3 year, 5 year are the absolute benchmarks. Maybe a long-term relative benchmark is 10 years, not beyond that. So shouldn't be there. But yes, it is a lucrative, it should be a lucrative thing only, considering the gold's average has the 80% plus record only in that sense. So thanks a lot, Dr. Amit. Yes, SGB tomorrow better at this price, if not. So yes, Sripal, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Prayan. SGB through SBI Bank is best. किसी भी बैंक से लो. All the RBI regulated banks and private banks, except small financial and cooperative banks, will offer you at the same price. It is similar to PPF. चाहे वो बैंक ऑफर करे, होता वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का इनिशिएटिव है. This is a RBI, Government of India initiative, primarily monitored by RBI. So banks are just the custodians of that. So don't bother कि SBI का best है कि HDFC का best है. Any bank is best because it is being issued by their BAP, RBI. So don't worry. So explained everything. Yes, Dr. Sripal, thank you. Rajesh sir, thank you. Abhijit, thank you. I missed out one small part. How to buy SGB in DMAT account? You can similar way place a request over the National Security NSDL or the other exchange. You can do that. But if you're buying through net banking, that will be a better proposition, as I mentioned in today's times. People, my dear friend Dr. Navjot also mentioned me this thing. Yeah, DMAT में होता था अच्छा है. तो मैं कहते मैंने तो मजाक में खरीद लिया. क्यों कैसे वो कहते HDFC पूछ रहा है कितने यूनिट, मैंने 20 किया, कहते कंफर्म कर दूं, मैंने कंफर्म कर दिया, तो सीधा मेरे पैसे कट गए. कहते ये तो मजाक में हो गया. मैं कहता ठीक है कोई बात नहीं है. That is the good way to buy it because it makes even the normal people invest in this. Because otherwise, when the things are complicated, ask yourself 3 years back, how many of you were interested in finance? Very, very, very few. Now, yes, I have tried my bit, but finance has started appearing interesting to many of you. There is a reason behind it, because the numbers are actually the key indicators of our practice. They are the matrices which hold the key to the growth of our practice. So similarly, you should be going about these things in that regard. So again, the DMAT also system can be bought through Dr. Abhijit through the net banking also. It will ask you the option from which one you want to buy through, the National Stock Exchange or the Mumbai Stock Exchange, the BSE. So you can buy through that. Even I didn't use the DMAT option this time. I used the net banking option. So thank you, Dr. Bhavna. No problem, Dr. Abhijit. 10-year return, 10-year husband को convince करना है, तो ये recording आ जाएगी. Dr. Shruti, show it to him. Yes, it is a 1.5 hour long session. People don't stay till the end. They just want watch the few minutes and then they move on to another video. But मेरे video के end में हमेशा आपको carry home ज्ञान मिलेगा. So that is the one which actually summarizes carry home ज्ञान summary and the moral of the story, which actually summarize the whole of the session. So don't worry. SGB, yes, I mentioned in the group, Dr. Ashish, आपने भी group नहीं खोला लगता बहुत देर से. SGB second tranche शुरू हुई है आज से. So after 5 years of bond, how to go about it, like selling. I mentioned in the session, just give a request on the day of before the day of your interest being incurred in your account, and you can exit from the scheme at that rate at prevalent in the market at that time, a tax-free return. But yes, if you miss that chance, you have to place request for the next 6 months later, because the interest is credited, unlike the banks which credit you quarterly interest. The SGB interest is credited twice a year, twice a year, every 6 months. So you can place a request only after 6 months for redemption after 5 years. So yes, Dr. Sripal, thank you so much. New interest and awareness in finance. So any more queries? I think I didn't miss any. So any more queries? Any one of you wants to ask? 15 of you have left the group, left the Zoom for their dinner. So 33 of you are present. Any one of you having any query, anything which was not answered, please feel free to ask again. I'm in no hurry. I already have my dinner. Already had my dinner before the session, so don't worry. So if you are hungry, you can go. Otherwise, I would be here to answer your queries. Please feel free to ask. Oh, sorry. I think I have unmuted everyone. That is the reason. Sorry. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Anyone, any queries? Unmute yourself and ask.
I have one question.
Yes, Amit.
Sir, one silly question. I have no Demat account, so can I open by SAS online or Zerodha is preferred? तो Zerodha से मेरा हुआ नहीं था सर, उसमें बार बार उसमें कुछ एरर थी और वो एजेंट कर नहीं पा रहे थे, तो हुआ ही नहीं मेरा ओपन. लास्ट मंथ भी ट्राई करा, उससे पहले भी.
Demat account?
ड्यू टू कोविड. नो नो सर, Zerodha.
What do you want to open?
I want to SAS online. Zerodha open किया था, वो हुआ नहीं है सर मेरा. So I want to open Demat account.
Demat account? I am actually, I would always want a banking institute if you're opting for something online. You can opt for a HDFC account or a Kotak 3-in-1 securities account. Those would be the better options than a Zerodha one. They come with a lower set of charges which are there. So I would not prefer a Zerodha in that sense. Yes, Zerodha is one of the biggest service providers, but I'm not a big fan of them. There are reasons for that, which I don't think this is the apt forum to mention over here, but I am not in favor of them, surely.
Okay, I got one another SAS online. If you heard the name,
Kanya Samriddhi?
better. SAS online करके होता है, इसी तरह से Zerodha है, इसी तरह एक और फॉर्म होता है प्लेटफॉर्म.
There are so many other options available. You can have it with your local stock exchange. You can have it with the Master Capital Services. There are so many options for a Demat account. Why do you only stuck to these two? So why do you want to? Yes, COVID. In COVID times, there might be different options that you might be having difficulty in physically going, but no problem. You can wait for some time. You can. It is always better to have a clear look at all the terms and conditions before you open a Demat account, because the brokerage charges, the other annual maintenance charges vary from service provider to one to another. So I will always advise to have a look into those things. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Abhijit. Yes, Sripal. How to buy SGB? There are two ways: Demat and through your internet banking. These days, both of them work through your internet banking as well. You can buy through physical certificate, which will be available online, and your online through your Demat account as well. I'll prefer the internet banking route, the physical certificate, which will be available in, which will be visible in my internet banking across all the platforms, my mobile banking as well, and my otherwise internet banking as well. So I'll prefer the physical certificate of that format in today's. So thank you, Dr. Snehal. Yes, it actually, my webinars fill me up with energy. After a short break, I can take another webinar as well. So during purchase and during redemption, the spread or buying and selling rate would still be applicable. Not for SGB, sir. Not for the digital options, but yes, for the physical gold, surely the spread options does make a difference. Yeah, and there is a lot of charges. If you have a good design of jewelry being picked up, you will actually end up paying close to 25% of approximate charges on your physical gold buying sometimes. Dr. Shruti also mentioned 50% for the Italian jewelry in Dubai. So there are high charges as well, but not for the SGB, not for the ETFs, since they are the other. In those cases, the spread is not applicable as such. So after the 5-year period, SGB gets auto renewed for another 5 years. No, Dr. Krishnpriya, SGBs have a 8-year period. The absolute lock-in is 5 years. You can exit after 5 years every 6 months. If you do not exit after 8 years, automatically they will be redeemed without even you giving a request to do so. They will never be auto ready. As of today, there is no auto renew option available. So obviously, since it is a thing which is linked to the current market rates at that time, it will never be a auto renew option. That is what I believe. So it is not for a 5-year another period. It is not like a PPF. It comes with 8-year period, 5-year absolute lock-in, where you can still sell after 6 months of buying in a local stock exchange by listing them. But again, you will get them at a discount. The pricing will be at a discount. You will get lesser back value. You will get back lesser value of what you had spent. But yes, if you don't do anything, automatically after 8 years, it will be over. Is there a difference in rates, Demat and net banking? No, absolutely not. this is the rate governed by DMAT. When you are buying online, you get a discount of 50 rupees per gram or 500 rupees per 10 gram. So that is the price remains the same. Okay, Dr. Krishnan. Any more queries or we call it a day? Okay, thank you, Rajesh sir. Okay, so friends, we call it a day, and please do put in your feedback in the WhatsApp group wherever you are, to what your takeaways for the session are, so that it actually boosts others also to have a look at gold have a look at gold as an inclusion in their portfolio, which is so very necessary in today's volatile times. So I hope you all will do the needful. So thank you so much. I'll drop in a message in the group. So if you feel what, you don't need to necessarily say anything about the session. If you don't have anything to say about it, I don't mind that, but do put in your takeaways for the session so that it actually gives a burning desire to others also to at least have something coming up their way. So thank you so much once again, and maybe इसी तरह कभी ना कभी next week या उससे next week free group वालों को फिर से एक surprise मिलेगा 2 घंटे का margin मिलके. So keep on checking the group. Maybe you get lucky for another session very soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
So MPG members, we meet on Thursday morning for the costing session part 4. Thank you so much. And balance sheet session, guys, we meet tomorrow afternoon 2 p.m. Bye. Take care.